Będę mówić dzisiaj dość krótko, mam nadzieję. Oh, and I'm going to speak in English because that's what I promised, and yeah, a lot of strange things are going to happen because I'm going to have some live programming. It's always like this, that when you have live programming, there's going to be a disaster. So that's almost for sure. So I try to make it. Oh, I'm going to tweet now that I'm on the stage. So. Yes. Yeah. Thanks for liking this. Fame. Okay, tweeted. All right, because I have. Some friends watching on live streaming, and they wanted to know when the English version is going to start, so they can watch. All right. At the very beginning also there's a small confusion because I wrote with Amazon S3 because I thought that maybe I'm going to tell you more about how to combine and use together Lambda as Amazon Lambda and S3, but it's not going to happen, so I'm going to speak only about Amazon Lambda. That's it. So, about me. My name is Piotr Zientara, and I'm a programmer for 3 years. For 2.5 years, I was working at Rebase in Warsaw. Recently, I changed my place of work. I started to work for Job Artist. Job Artist is a startup that is a Spanish startup run by a Polish programmer, and together with his friend from Spain, and they're doing some project for Angola in Africa, so that's adventurous. And I was a former before I was a teacher and an educator. For 4 years I was working at primary school and secondary school as a philosophy teacher. An ethics teacher, so I was having a lot of fun, but finally after 4 years I had to change my work, and now I'm a happy programmer. And also recently I sometimes volunteer as a coach at Rails Girls Summer. This is Ruby language, not JavaScript, but still I know that many of you like Ruby, and some of you even taught me Ruby. So so that's why I'm telling you about this. So. Yeah, today morning I wake up and I have a notification from Piotr, and Piotr told me, Piotr, can you retweet me? And I look at this and I said, and I read test, and I thought, man, shouldn't it be test? Because it's a 1 hour of difference. Do you know what I mean? Please be with us at 6:30 p.m. CET, which means Central Europe time. And I thought, my God, but maybe it's Central Europe summertime, and I found in Wikipedia that actually Central Europe's time is it changes with the time change. So it's sometimes GTM plus 2, and sometimes it's +1. But unfortunately, Google doesn't know it. So when you write in the browser time CET, you will get now 6:50. You can check it. I check it on mobile phone on Safari, and when I wrote set time, I got a bad answer. But so I was having a discussion with Piotr. Well, should we change this tweet or not? And this is interesting because either you adapt to the environment which actually is behaving wrong because Google is wrong about that, or you just make it more practical. So you You changed. You finally didn't change it, but that's it. This motive is going to return about time today. So my presentation is to tell you about Amazon Lambda. What is it and how to use it? And you're going to see how it works generally on a very basic level. So my presentation today is for beginners, actually. Who of you have ever implemented Amazon Lambda? Hands up. Wow! I'm so happy to know this. Thanks. So I hopefully I will present you through the most difficult part. So the beginning. The beginning is always the most difficult because this is only but at the same time it's easy because you must know how to do it to make it easy. It's usually it's like this, but generally it's. It was quite difficult for me for the beginning, so I thought maybe a presentation like this will make you this thing more familiar. So, what is an AWS without S3? AWS Lambda. Well, this is a code that is going to be run on Amazon side. It can give you some. The supported language is Node.js, so we can write in JavaScript. And what's excellent here is that can be used just like an API gateway. So Amazon for free opens up a gate for us. It's an independent service, but we will combine these two, and we can use it just as an API. So how to start? We need to have an AWS S3 account, to have an idea, and to have some time to read the docs, or maybe watch the presentation and then start with your own Amazon Lambda. So, well, there is a huge tutorial over there. Maybe I will show you, because this will show you how much time you could save with this presentation. Yeah, Amazon S3 docs. Yeah. Uh-oh. Well, yeah, as I told you, it's going to be hard today. Well, so these are the docs. Yeah, and here how it works, blah blah blah, permissions. Yeah, this is everything open apps like this. So step 1 here, and so on and so on. So there's quite a lot of stuff to know. But I will tell you only the basics that are enough to implement just the first Lambda. So, well, yeah, there are other tutorials. You can just see after this presentation. My slides are going to be in the internet. So, let's begin. Oh, an example Lambda, for example. Here you can see how it's going to work. This is the only piece of code you need to understand and know today. The whole Lambda works like this: that you define a handler. This handler needs to be well, by default it's called handler. And here we have some code that's going to be evaluated. Here we have an event. And an event is this thing which comes as an input, and on that event we can have some keys. For example, if you want to send some data here to this Amazon Lambda, for example, that's going to give some input which is going to be used later. You need to get into it through the event object, and it gets also a context which I will return to. And yeah, well, here is the callback that's going to be resolved when the Lambda is done. So the function. Actually, here is a very simple example of a function. That's called Lambda, and with parameters, with params, which as I said, you have these params on the event object. So if you want to define to get into the values that are sent to this API, you can get them from the event object. And here we have a different answer. The third argument. It's not necessary to have the third argument, but this is possible, and it's going to be a callback here. All of this is going to be clear when we are going to write the code. because we are going to have some live coding. So today, well, not today, a week ago, something like a week ago, my son, 6-year-old, asked me a question. What year do we have now? And I said 2016. And he said, why? So I said, well, because this is how people sometime in the past agreed how we are going to count time. And he said, but how we count time? Well, through the from the birth of Christ. But actually, Christ was born after this date, so. Well, it's confusing, but yes, that's in Latin it's called post Christum natum. So after Christ was born, was born. So. But he asked me why. Can you count the years differently? And I said yes. Well, you can. For example. In the past, people counted time from the beginning of Rome, from setting the city of Rome, which was 753 years before Christ. So we can also count years from that point. And you know, actually, I hope you'll be better prepared than I to answer this questions to someone who is 6-year-old. But yeah, well, we can count it differently. So maybe we can implement a lambda, which is going to tell us the years dependingly how we want to count it. Maybe from AU, so anno Urbis, so from the beginning of Rome, maybe from the setting of and beginning of Warsaw JS. Now we have 2 years, right? Or maybe from in the classical way from the birth of Christ, so Anno Domini, so AD. So. What's the plan for writing this function that's going to return us this years? So we will need to write the body of the function. Amazon is giving us tools to write it, so an editor, and also a testing tool, which is going to be used here, and you can see how you can work with it. Set some role of the lambda, because it needs to be defined what are the permissions of this lambda. Well, there are some defaults for that, luckily. Create the function, test it, and remember the region where you created the lambda, because it can be easily lost. There are several regions in Amazon, buckets and not buckets, everything actually, and you can. I, for example, lost my lambda for the first time, and I was writing to the support, and they found it somewhere in Ireland. So yeah, and later we need to set up the gateway, which is going to call that lambda. All right, so hold up. This is going to be live coding. Oh, by the way, some interesting remark, I think. Do you know what's the similarity between philosophy and coding? Philosophy is like trying to open a safe with a combination lock. Each little adjustment of the dials seems to achieve nothing. Only when everything is in place, the door opens. Isn't this exactly like coding? You make multiple things, plenty of them, and finally you can call the lambda and it's going to give you the answer. Well, very similar for me. So what might go wrong? I can confuse the buckets. I can, for example, write a post request, a get request instead of post. There are strange things going on on Amazon. If you write, for example, a get instead of post, you get information that you don't have access. You will see what is the level of user experience at this Amazon services. You will be shocked. Setting the access policy wrong can be done also, and yeah, then you can be disappointed with the test results. I will tell you about this later. So okay. The coding, as I promised. So, I will do it from nothing. I have an AWS account, so I won't set it. But let's write AWS console in Google, because I don't know the address, and here it is. Okay, so let's go here, and look, what's interesting here? How can I log in? Who knows how to log in here? Create, yeah, very good. Create an account, very good. That's it, that's the usability. So we go to create an account, and yeah, the internet is not very fast today. Yeah, I have an account. It remembers my credentials, so I can sign in to the server. And the first thing that I'm going to do is to implement the function. So I need to find Amazon Lambda. Amazon Lambda is one of the several services you will have. There are actually more than a dozen services. There are quite a lot, so it's even difficult to find with just looking at. And as you can see, what's interesting here, I was automatically moved to US West 2. And this is something you need to remember. It's Oregon. If you change this, you won't find your Lambda. So I go to Lambda. Yeah, I have it. I have a dashboard, and here I'm going to create a Lambda function. Creating Lambda function, blah, blah, blah. Select blueprint. So here you do absolutely nothing. You need to go to configure function. Maybe I do it immediately because I don't want to wait. So my function name is going to be calendar. Oh, by the way, this is the programming session, and it's I want to create some tension, some feeling that everything is going to break. Can you play something, horrifying? Yeah, thanks. So get calendar year. Well, get year depending on the input. Okay. So here we have. Oh, I was training before, but no, I shouldn't show you this. So here was nothing. There was nothing, and here we have a result, which is going to be passed to the callback, and we are going to have a year, which I'm going to define as new date. And do you know how to get the year from new date in JavaScript? Get full year. Yeah, that's it. And we will pass this year to a result, maybe variable. And this result variable is going to say the year is, and give us the year. All right? Is it proper code? I think, yeah. We have here we have the result. All right. Well, we can refactor this a little bit so it looks a little bit better. Okay. And now, this is very important because here you define which is the handler that is going to answer for the function. So here is index handler, and this means that exports handler is going to be used as the body of the function. Existing role. Here we need to use any role that actually is defined somewhere. And that's it. That's everything we need to define. Every default setting is okay. Here we can add some timeout, use more memory if the body is going to be heavy, and so on. So okay, I pressed next, and we can create the function. Okay, it's there, and here we have the testing tool, which I was saying about. So we can configure a test. Here we have some input. This is going to be a JSON. Maybe the calendar is going to be Warsaw JS, maybe a different one. We don't know. But what's going to happen if we run the test now? Maybe there's going to be a bug. I hope so, because that's the usual. Oh no, there was no bug. The year is 2006. Yeah, 2016. That's okay. It works. So okay, well, we want to have a function that tells us the calendar depending on the input. So we are going to ask about 3 different calendars. The standard one, which is going to be returned by default, Warsaw JS calendar, and anno urbis, so from the beginning of Rome. So let's write the function. We are going to. Do you remember how to get the input? From event function. Yeah, event. And here in event there's going to be a calendar. Okay, and we are going to switch on that. So I'm going to write a switch statement. Switch event calendar and the body of it. Oh, something is wrong there. Expected braces, brackets. So I'm going to add them. Okay. And here inside the switch statement, we have a case. The first case is that it's going to be Warsaw JS, okay? And in case it's Warsaw JS, how we are going to count the can you see that generally? Maybe, well, does the zoom help? Can you see? All right. So in case it's Warsaw JS, I think we need to get the date of the year of the beginning of our community meetings. So as I remember, the date is 2014, 9th, 16th. That was the day when we had the first meetup. So we can get a full year from that. And how to define it? Well, beginning. I think I've spelled it wrong. Beginning with double N, right? Okay. And we will to the year we are going to assign the year minus the beginning, right? Because 2016 is now minus 2014, we are going to get 2 years. I think it's right. So the year is, well, but the year is going to be defined here. So I'm not sure if it's going to work. But okay, so we are going to rewrite the result. Result is the year is year plus using Warsaw JS calendar. Okay. All right. So that's the first case. The second, the default. The default is going to be just a year. So well, I'm going to write the full sentence again. Maybe a small refactoring after that. So using well, or we just will write anno domini. And here, okay. And the last case is sorry. The last case is going to be case that we have. Sorry. Oh, break. You're right. Break. Thanks for that. The last case is AU, so anno urbis. So how to count anno urbis? Year is equal to year plus 700 753 before Christ. This is tricky because if we add just 753, it's going to make it because we didn't have the 0 year, right? Do I count it right? Yeah, we didn't have the 0 year, so we can just add this this number. So the result is using anno urbis. Let's call it like this. Okay, so we have here the result, and now we can test it. If it works, how to test it? Save and test. I think there was Warsaw JS. Yeah, it works for the first time. Incredible. Okay, so let's configure it, and let's check now anno urbis. Well, no, it's anno domini. What? Yeah, you're right. It's that. Yeah. Okay. Thanks for that. It would cost me a lot of time if I would do it alone. Sorry. Yeah. Not this configuration code. Okay. Code. Here is break. Here is the break is missing. Oh, and what's funny? Look, we had this information here. I think. Okay. So let's try again. What happened? Anno urbis. Yeah, it works. Yeah. And I don't know when post maybe right this way. Post Christum natum. Just for fun, if the default works. Yeah, works. Okay. So this is how our function should work. And now we go to the implementation of the API gate. So as you can see, it's very visible that the API gate is right API gate. Oh yeah, here it is. API gateway. So we go to the API gateway. Again, we are in US West 2. That's right, Oregon. And we can create an API. That's it. We create an API. We call it calendar. Gives us different calendar years. Okay? And okay, that's it. We can create calendar. And now we are defining a resource, like in Rails, or we can define a method or a resource. Okay, let's try with a method. The method will be post. Why it's important that it's post? Because we are going to send a JSON to that function. As you could see in that testing event, it was an object, right? And we need to also post an object to get this return. So we use post for that. And here we say that integration type is Lambda function. With the region, yeah, can you see? The region is US West. Yeah, very good. Okay, and here you need to remember your name of the function. So it's calendar, right? Yeah. Okay. But it gives you hints. It's not that bad. So we save. And look, we're going to have, yeah, look how it's usable. We have the whole process visible as it's going to work. We have no authorization going to the Lambda. The Lambda function calendar is responding us with some pattern, and we got the JSON as a response. Okay, does it work now? No, it's not ready yet. We need to deploy. We press this. I press deploy, and we need to define a stage. We call the stage test. for example. Well, that's super cool because I was working with this on my production app, and I used different test environment and production environments so that we had different on staging and on testing and on development. So that's great for me. And stage for testing. It's not important to what we write here. And now we deploy. Yeah, and we got the URL. Do you know what happens when I paste this URL here and go there? Missing authentication token. Well, that's super cool because we said we don't want to have any authorization. So I don't know why they implemented like this, but to get this right, we need to use curl. We need to use curl. So I'm going to write a curl statement. It's going to be with a header because we need to give a JSON there. So content type application JSON. Yeah. And data is going to be a JSON with calendar parameter that's saying us Warsaw JS, and what's stupid here, we need to escape the quotes because that's JSON string, right? So we don't want to accidentally close it. Single quotes outside here. Okay. Okay, and I'm going to just to paste. Sorry? I can remove the slashes? I have to, okay. Okay, so I'm going to remove the slashes now. And write, and paste here the, oh, I can't paste. Okay, here is the copied, yeah, okay. So enter. Yeah, woo! Can you see this? It's incredible, it really works, and it was implemented in 15 minutes. No, 30, sorry about So let's check. So let's check with other calendars. Anno Urbis. Yeah, well, 2000. Look how it works perfectly. 2,790. Well, no, is it wrong? No, it's correct. I think it's correct. And the last one. Oh, sorry. And the last one is anything, or I will just write. The default was something there. I don't know, but let's say P C or Anno Domini AD. Okay. Yeah, works for every three cases. So well, that's the end of the live coding. Thanks you. Well, okay. So. All right. So as I was exercising this for 3 times, so that's why there was no problems with this. But if you are a beginner and you just follow me with this in this presentation, you will just implement your first Lambda. I was first disappointed with the test results because when I was testing the Lambda, it was responding after 3 seconds. So I was sending a request, and after 3 seconds, it was responding. And this is a similar situation like with Heroku. Who uses Heroku or was using Heroku? So sometimes the Lambda is sleepy, and it needs to be used all the time. So it initializes and works, and works continuously. But generally, it's a good tool for scaling. Why? Because you know, Amazon servers are very fast. I will describe later the case I was doing. So and why what was the fastest solution. So yeah, well, what I was expecting different. So what I was disappointed about, it was that this Lambda was slow for the first time, and I was expecting free support from the AWS team, but it occurred that I need to pay for my post on the forum, and I was expecting easier management. So with the problems with the buckets or the policy or things like this were quite was making my work quite tedious. This was my first. I'm just a beginner for that in that, so I'm just sharing my fresh experience here. So examples of using my example and my production app. Well, not mine, but in Job Artist, was that we needed to create a zip file from a lot of files in our Amazon S3 storage. And we had an idea, okay, so maybe we should import the files and zip on the Ruby side, and on the server side, and give the zip somewhere to Amazon, and then give the link to that. But this was a terrible solution, because we would have our server to download all this data and put it back to put it backwards. But we discovered this Amazon Lambda, and this Amazon Lambda can have access directly to the S3 storage. So the solution was very easy. That we write a Lambda. The Lambda had privileges to get all the files, create a zip, save it somewhere in that storage, and give the link to that zip file, and it was super fast. So performance was important for us, so we used that, and simplicity and scalability of this solution is great. So the strong sides of Amazon Lambda is that it's scalable, it's cheap, you can have up to 1 million requests a month, that's quite generous, and it's independent, so we don't need to worry about performance of our server or of Heroku or something. Okay, thanks for watching. No to chyba... Okej, właśnie, czy są jakieś pytania? Are there any questions? Piotrze, wiesz co, przydasz by... Oh, thanks Piotr.
Can you actually require modules in Node.js?
Yes, you can require modules. I thought I'm going to tell also about this, but you can see the time was quite, I needed quite a lot of time to explain all this. You can require modules. You prepare a special zip file that you upload to Amazon Lambda, and you can include their modules, and it's quite easy. Sometimes you can but probably you won't confuse this. But generally, it works as a normal package JSON file that you can add to that zip file you upload as a function. Okay. Any other questions? Yeah. Thanks. That's that for me.